Hello and welcome to another Intercore Taiji video. My name is Kane Yenser, and today I'm going to be going over the opening sequence for the Zheng 13 postures. This is a form I teach to my senior students or my beginner students, and this is just for reference. Once I've taught it in class, they can come to this video and look at it and see what they're missing. But if you're not in one of my classes and you'd like to follow along, feel free to. I'm going to break this down into 9 steps, and this is just the opening. Okay, it's very simple. So we're going to start with our toes together and our heels slightly apart. Your legs are going to be straight, but the knees will not be locked. You're going to bring your hands to the sides of your thighs. Your middle finger, if you have a seam on the outside of your pants, your middle finger will be placed on that seam. And you want to make sure when you start or before you start that the palms are actually touching the outsides of your thighs. Now, the first thing we're going to do, and this is one, is we're going to sink the elbows down, sink the shoulders down. The hands are going to come up. The fingers in the beginning are going to be pointed to the ground, and then we're going to draw the elbows back, and we're going to bring the palms to the sides of the abdomen. So you need to really draw your elbows back. Okay, and that's one. Again, one. Sink the elbows, sink the shoulders. That draws the hands up. It's a circular motion. And please pay attention to the side view so you can see that circular motion. So when I teach this, usually a lot of students, they have this big movement here. And that's not that they don't do that in other forms, but here we're doing a small movement. So the elbows really don't move forward that much, but they do move back. One. Okay? So you can stop the video here and practice that. That's going to be the easiest part of this section. Now let's move on to two. One and two. I'm going to do half of it. I'm just going to do the arms for the first half. Two. You're going to press down with the palms. Remember, this is just the hands for two. And at the end, the fingers are going to be pointing down towards the ground. Now, this is easy to do when we're not adding in the second part of this, because in the second part, we are going to be sinking down into our legs, and students have a tendency to hold tension in their wrists. Okay, you got to make sure the fingers come all the way down and point at the floor. Again, one, two. One more time. One, two. Okay, and you can pause the video here and just practice that part. Now we're going to move on to the second part of two. So one. And now while we press the hands down and the fingertips start to point towards the floor, you're going to bend your knees and bring all of your weight into your right leg. So that makes the left leg empty. And that's the whole part of two. Again, one, two. Sink down, bring all the weight into the right foot. The left heel comes up, but we're not lifting the leg from the ground. We've separated the weight out. Okay? On this movement, on part two, try not to lean forward. I know your leg is going to be taxed, but make sure you're still upright. Again, one, two. Keep the body upright, bend the knees. Left leg is now empty. Okay? So I would like you now to stop the video and practice 1, 2. And when you're ready, come back and we'll do part 3. All right, so 1, 2. Now you need to watch for patterns in Taiji. You notice that the heel is coming up on the left foot and it's empty. That means more than likely we're going to take a step, and we're going to take that step and we're going to take the left foot and place it parallel. The feet will be parallel in this direction and shoulder width apart. Now notice when I stepped over that I didn't lean, I didn't come up, I just stepped over. So I don't want you rising up even though it's physically challenging. Also, when we take that step, there's going to be no weight in that foot. Okay, so you're not allowed to bring weight over with the step. It's got to stay 100% over here. Okay, that's 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2. Fingers point down. Empty step over, shoulder width, parallel feet. Again. 1, 2, 3. One more time, then you can practice on your own if you pause the video. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if you've gotten up to 3 so far, go ahead and pause the video, practice that a bunch of times so you feel confident, and we'll move on to number 4. Okay, adding on number 4. 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to rise, but we're not going to scoot over and rise or come up and then go over and rise. We're going to come up like this to rise. So if you look at the coccyx, the coccyx is actually moving diagonally. Okay, so this would be incorrect, and this would be incorrect. All right, and you're going to move your weight 50. You're going to move your weight so your weight is split between both feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come up all the way. Again. And remember, when you start, make sure your palms are touching the outside of the thighs and your toes are together and your heels are slightly apart. Make sure you start correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time, and then I'll allow you to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video now, practice 1 through 4, and then come back and we'll add on 5. All right, let's add on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and for 5, we're going to tuck the coccyx gently under, bend the knees, and sit down. Okay, and when we sit down, we don't want to lean forward and stick the butt out. Got to keep the back erect. Okay, that's 5. And make sure the hands are still awake. They haven't gone somewhere, withered away or anything like that. Their fingertips are still pointing down. Okay, let's go through that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. And it's very important, before we start again, that you don't mix the movements together. They have to be clearly distinguished, okay? It's not that we're not flowing, but you can't mix 1 and 2 together. You have to complete one motion before you go on to the second motion. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit down, gently tuck under. Okay, let's do that one more time, and then you can pause and practice on your own. Toes together, heels apart, palms touching the sides of the thighs, the outside of the thighs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit down, bend the knees. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video right now, and when you come back, we'll do part 6. All right, Let's do part 6. Toes together, heels apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now 6, we keep the knees bent, we don't lean, and the arms float up. Fingertips as they float up are slightly pointing down. The hands are nice and relaxed. You want the arms bent, but you want them extended, okay? Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep the knees bent, arms float up. And the hands will come to about shoulder height. Make sure your arms aren't stiff and straight or like this. Extended but bent. Again, toes together, heels apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just do that one more time, and then I want you to pause the video, practice on your own, and make sure you can do this. You can remember this with very little effort. Remember, you need to be able to do this without following along. Let me repeat that. You need to be able to do this without having your eyes on me and following me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, go ahead and pause the video. Make sure you've got that down pat, and then come back for part 7. Part 7, palms on the sides of the thighs, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now from here, we're going to shift to your right. Shift to your right. 7. Okay, and you want to completely empty out the left leg, and you notice the toes are slightly coming up, all right, because we're going to pivot on the heel in a second. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shift to the right, empty out the left foot. All right, again, toes together, heels apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shift to the right, empty out the left foot. Okay, and there's going to be a slight rise also. Let's do that one more time, then you can pause and practice. Toes together, heels apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so go ahead and pause the video, practice that, make sure you've got it down pat, okay? Make sure you've got it down to a point where, once again, you can do it smoothly and you're not getting lost. Once you do that, come back. We'll go on to number 8. Toes together, heels apart. This is number 8, or part 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, shift. Now 8, we're going to turn the waist, and as we turn the waist, right hand's going to come down, and we're going to shift to the left. Now, notice, I pivoted on the left heel to point the toes out to the diagonal. Now, when we do this, don't make the mistake of turning the foot too far out so that it's pointing to this direction. You want a slight turn out and err on the side of less severe of an angle than more of an angle. Okay, so if you're not sure, make it more shallow. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, shift to the right. 8, turn the waist, pivot on the left heel, pointing the toes out, drop the right hand as you shift all the way into the left foot, and you're going to get all the weight out of this right leg, come up on the balls of the foot, not the toes, and this is going to be empty because we're going to have to empty out because we're going to take a step in a second. Okay, let's do that again a couple more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arms rise, float up. 7, shift to the right. 8, pivot on the heel, turning the waist to the left. Drop the right hand, shift all of the weight to the left leg. Okay, heels come up, heel comes up on the right foot, and our waist is almost turned all the way to this direction. So don't have the waist facing here. It's turned to this direction. Let's do that again. A couple more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, shift to the right. 8, turn the waist to the left, pivot on the left heel. The right hand starts to drop as you shift into the left leg. Then the heel of the right foot comes up, and we're on the balls of the right foot, not the toes. Okay, and make sure you're sitting up. I know a lot of you are leaning like this right now. Make sure you're always sitting up. Let's do it 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, shift to the right. 8, turn the waist left, pivot on the heel of the left foot, point the left toes out to the diagonal, shift the weight all the way into the left, turn the waist to the left, heel comes up on the right foot. Okay, let's do it together 2 more times, then you can pause and practice that because this part's slightly more difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, turn the waist left, pivot on the left heel, shift the weight, turn the waist to the left. Heel comes up. Okay, one last time, then I want you to pause the video and practice a bunch of times. 1, 2, sit down. 3, step over. 4, rise, come to center. Sit down. 6, Arms rise. 7, shift to the right. 8, turn the waist left, pivot on the heel, shift the weight to the left leg, sit up, turn the waist left, right heel comes up. Okay, that is 8. So go ahead and pause the video, take your time with that. That last bit is a little more complicated, and then we'll go on to 9. All right, now we're at the last part, number 9. We're going to step out with that empty foot we created, the empty right foot we created on movement number 8. Now, when we go to step out, a couple of things. So on 8, we're here. When we step out, I want you to step here, not here. Okay, the idea is when we step out here, we still have space. We still have a corridor of space here. One other thing, when you go to step out, it's heel, toes, not toe, then heel. All right, don't try to take a big step, because if you take a big step, it's going to take your body weight with you. When that foot comes down, it's got to be 100% empty, meaning there's no weight at all in that foot. You can lift it up easily, and the tissue in between the bones in the foot and the floor is not compressed. Okay, easier said than done. Toes together, heels apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, rise, center. 5, sit down. 6, arms float up. 7, shift. 8, turn the waist, turn on the heel, drop the right hand. Now we're going to take that step, heel, toes. And my waist stays turned to this direction, so don't turn the waist to take the step. Now, Taiji looks easy, but this movement is not. It's very difficult to have all those parameters in there. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, shift. 8, turn on the heel, turn the waist. Drop the right hand. It's 8. Keeping the waist turned, we're going to step out. 9. No weight here. And don't lean. Stay upright. Okay, let's do it a couple more times, and that's the whole opening. You can practice that about 1 billion times until you got it down pat. 1, 2, 3, 4, come to center, rise. 5, 6, 7, shift to the right, your right. 8, turn the waist, drop the right hand, pivot on the heel, left foot, empty out the right foot. And 9, take that step, not in, but keep it on this line, and don't turn your waist to take that step. And keep your body upright. Let's do it 2 more times, and then I want you to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's also important to remember you got to keep this leg bent so you can take this step properly. Let's do it one more time. It'll be the end of the video, and then you can practice on your own till you get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, One last thing, make sure the palms are here, not the hands are a fist width away from the body and the palms are facing each other. And don't lift your elbow up, let it hang down. All right? Okay, so that's the opening to the Zheng Manqing 13 postures. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Please like the video, especially if you're a student of mine, and subscribe if you'd like. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. 谢谢.